came to especially schoolwork, which was one of our biggest battles, I used to see that it was time for him to be getting off the school bus, and there would actually be a pit in my stomach, and I wouldn't want him to come home. And I would feel horrible as a mom saying that, but I knew that when he walked in the door, there was going to be tension, and I didn't want to live in that, because the rest of the day had gone, for the most part, pretty smoothly, and I'd been fine. But I knew once he came in, that tension between him and I was going to start, and I didn't know how to fix it, but I just felt like I'm trying my best, but it's not getting any better. So something I'm doing must not be right. So I need to find out what that right thing is. But I just didn't feel like we were making any progress. I felt like I was kind of doing more of the work, coming up with strategies. I was doing most of the talking.
Well, a thought would usually come in my head whenever I would get like a paper that's either that I don't want to do, or when I would enter like the building to go to school, I used to think that, oh, I don't want to go to school. School is boring. This isn't fun. I would rather be home. And I would have that bad thought in my head. And now I think I let that bad thought go through the other side, and I let a good thought come in instead. Well, when I have my feeling drop down, I usually think, wait, I'm keeping this bad thought in my head, and I'm making myself sad or angry or frustrated or depressed, and it's making my feeling go down. But if I let that thought go and I let a good one come in, my feeling will start to go up, and I'll live in a good feeling. Well, when it's a bad thought, it's usually something depressing, sad, that you don't want to do, or something that you're being lazy about. And if it's a good thought, it's usually something that you're happy about, that that if you're like being kind to someone, if you're being grateful.
Kaden used to be very fidgety, and so for him to sit with no tics, and to be able to be so focused and to be able to really listen, like these are all huge improvements for Kaden. And I just want to point that out because they didn't know you before when we started working together 8 months ago. So
his tics are based on his anxiety. So when he gets really anxious, he will do the tics more, and sometimes they can call attention to himself, which only makes it worse in school. So for him to be able to, one, catch it and be aware, be conscious of it, is big, and then learning how to kind of, again, know that he has the power because of his mind to get these under control and to kind of calm himself so that then he can move forward with whatever he needs to is big. It's been a big time game changer. Homework, although we still have some struggles, we're not arguing the way that we were. I see a huge difference in myself, the way that I feel, the way that I approach my son. I'm catching things based on the principles that you've taught that I might have just gone on like automatic, but because you've taught us mind, thought, and consciousness, being conscious, being aware that I'm gonna go say something and then say, wait, that's the old way. That's not the right way to handle it. Catching myself, kind of pausing for a second, thinking, asking the famous question, what makes sense? And then kind of going from that approach has helped to diffuse, I can't tell you how many things that potentially before would have just been arguing back and forth between me and Kaden, and nothing would have got accomplished. I've learned not to take things personal. Every time he would say something to me, I'd think he doesn't appreciate me. He doesn't know what a good mother I am. He doesn't see that I'm trying to help. And I'm looking at it that way, and he's probably in his mind rationalizing all these things about me when it's about the math problem. And so learning to separate that and to say that he's frustrated at his homework something else, nothing that has to do with me, I can approach it much more calmly with more of an open mind and look at what really is the problem instead of trying to guess.
The thoughts that you used to listen to, they were actually lenses that you were looking through that you weren't aware of. And now, like you refer in general to those old lenses as personal lenses. And now you're more aware when you start to look through that lens and kind of let it fall away and just listen more with an open mind and respond from that place.
What really helped me to find out more about myself as a wife, as a mom, as a teacher, and I feel like they've made me a better person.
But I think they should definitely teach it in school because then the kids could learn it, all the kids together.
Why do you think it would be helpful to learn it in school?
Well, I think it would be a little bit more helpful because then you can hear other kids' experiences and then you can benefit from them too and their answers.